I invite you to take a little journey with me as I reflect on a SoulJourner's truth and what has been my journey for the past 17 years. I recently returned to the United States after about 4 years of basking and being nestled in the Black Forest in Freiburg, Germany. I returned for a soul family reunion, which was absolutely beautiful. Also able to reconnect with family, friends. I chose to move in anonymity, in mystery. So for me, even the ones that I chose to see on this return trip, it was absolutely ordained and beautiful. Most specifically, the reunion with my son, who is a beautiful, beautiful young man. I was able to go through old boxes and things. I don't have a lot of things. The traveling priestess was learned to travel lightly. But it was really such a joy coming back to the land where I was born and seeing how much I had grown. Also being able to revisit some of my favorite books and art and kaftans and things from the past 17 years of traveling as a priestess, world schooling mama, healing artist, whatever. But I wanted to share something that I found in my appointment book that prior to the traveling and journeying in those ways as a midwife and whatever, I remember writing this in my journal when at that time I still had a full-time bodywork practice, massage therapist, doula, cranial sacral therapy, trance, metaphysical things too. But at that time, I was seeing sometimes about 4 or 5 clients a day. And the front of my appointment book, I had written this: I want to live simply. I want to sit by the window when it rains and read books I'll never be tested on. I want to create, dance, serve, and be because I want to, not because I have something to prove to myself or to others. I want to listen to my body fall asleep when the moon is high and wake up slowly with no place to rush off to. I want to not be governed by money, clocks, or any artificial restraints that humanity imposes on itself. I simply want to be infinite, boundless, and free to be all I be. Now, I didn't write those words. I think I probably altered the end. But I remember it was something that I read. Maybe it was a meme or something. And I remember I wrote it down because it was my sincerest heart's desire and wish. And it took me about 17 years to say, and in full truth and honesty, I live that. That dream has become my reality. Now the journey itself with many lands, many countries, many different people that I was walking with, either as a midwife or in different forms, different ways. It was a long time coming. And I feel like the last 4 years in the Black Forest, as much as cranial sacral has been a part of my life, has been a part of, it's one of my favorite modalities, being that it works with us as the tree of life that we be, and balancing and regulating our nervous systems. I really feel like the gift of the Black Forest and my soul family trees. It was literally the gift and the balm to my soul. I think as much as I'm not going to go into many of the stories and experiences. I've recorded a few other podcasts about some of the journeys and experiences in those ways. But I feel like my own nervous system really needed attention and work. And it came to me through being in the forest, through connecting with the guardians of the land, and literally walking for hours in the forest, even to the point too where the clients and ones that I would work with and continue, in those ways, even if there was traumatic energies and things that I was having to hold space for in the last 4 years, the fact that I had my soul family trees holding space for me, and the walks. I mean, I am very much a tree person. Someone asked me the other day, they said, how did you get the name Amber? Amber, how did you come? And Amber is fossilized tree sap, and I am a tree person. So I can't believe it took me so many years to kind of find my way home to the forests. And even now, as I'm recording this, I am not in the Black Forest. I am in a different country that I'm not feeling to disclose, because I am still somewhat on a vision quest. But at the same time, I am sitting in the middle of a forest and completely at peace, completely at home within my own being. But so this journey and kind of leaving the United States after, again, beautiful reunions, reconnection with some of the soul family, sister midwives, the ones that I was meant to connect with during that trip, I got a clear no of, was not an option to return to the Black Forest in Germany. I also had, and it was not a no by government or by any outside authority. It was my own spirit saying no. And there was also another place that was also in my field that I was making my way to nest and to be home. And I, being a beloved daughter of Mami Wata, she asked for one last vision quest, that there was still something that wanted to come through. And since, again, I have complete respect and honor where I came from, but I was staying with my parents for the summer, and these reunions took place. It was beautiful, but they're home, and in that way I'm always welcome, but it's not my home, especially in the spirit of some of the metaphysical and visioning and vision quests that I do. So hopped on a plane, arrived, and came to this new land. I want to share an invocation that, again, I found it in the midst of my old journals and papers, and I used it 17 years ago when I left Milwaukee, flew out of Chicago, and it's been an invocation that really is something that I bring with me every place that I go. And so I'm going to share that here. It's an invocation of authentic power and protection. I call upon the white light of Great Spirit for protection. I now visualize a shield of authentic power and protection forming a great circle around me. This circle of power also contains my shield of intent. With this circle, I set the matrix of what I'm willing to experience. As I define this my sacred space, I armor my boundaries. I go forth as a dreamer on my vision quest. I humbly ask Great Spirit to assist in bringing me the vision. As I step down upon new territories and foreign lands, I ask permission of the guardians. I realize that wherever I am and whatever I'm doing, my vision quest is activating my dream field and thus is dumping an abundance of possibilities into my net. The core of this intent is ever present and is a synthesis of my mana. By embodying the level of unity and wholeness I have so far consciously achieved, it is the law in word and vibration of my allegiance to my personal truth. This truth is connected to certain programs working from sky to earth and the subsequent manifestation of them. I am committed to being, manifesting from the being, so I allow myself to receive the vision. I again ask Great Spirit to bring me to a place of clarity and vision. I am asking for and prepared to receive my heart's desire. I acknowledge that I am feeling this huge life change, and I'm honoring that request from my Holy Spirit to shift gears. I am invoking the spiritual power that brings in a vision. As I begin to work with my vision as a navigator, the first thing I do is build a platform out of the institution of my faith. That which I am aligned with through my natural state is also aligned within me. I bow my deepest bow of reverence, honor, respect, and gratitude to my Mother, Father, God, Great Spirit, my ancestors, spirit allies, angels, and teachers. Thank you for your unconditional love, wisdom, guidance, and protection. Tokosa. So as I sit here, surrounded by the guardians of the land that I'm in, and I reflect on the past 17 years, what I realize is that I like to be home. I love being home. I love the traveling priestess, the traveling midwife, womb shaman. I still serve. I still absolutely love the beings that I get to walk with and serve through life's transitions. But now I get to do it from home. And I am so deeply grateful that my days consist of really a dream come true. That other piece that I shared about wanting to live simply. I got a huge dose of that when I was in Freiburg, and the joy of simply walking to the grocery store and having the space, time, and energy to create in the kitchen and to cook and read books Or in my case, I also like to listen to audiobooks. Just being and love, my love of home. I think before motherhood and midwifery and world schooling and traveling, all of that, I also loved my home. My home was my sanctuary, absolutely. But then I realized that from 9 years of having that sanctuary and home, I literally went to the opposite extreme of constantly being in other people's energetic fields, villages, countries, places, serving as I was meant to serve. And it really took a toll on my body and my spirit. And I can, gratefully say I'm completely restored. And I give thanks really for the last few years of realizing that I'm still able to serve, but it's just not me hopping on planes constantly and being in other energetic fields and villages constantly. I get to do it from home, and I do feel really blessed. And I start my days in such a beautiful way. I feel so grateful for my life, for the entire journey. Here's me at 45 years old, and finally realizing that I'm a homebody, and I love it. Yeah, I don't feel a need in this now to go into any other story. I just wanted to share a few of those pieces of the reflections and a deep reverence for my entire life, for my path, pretty much since I arrived Earthside. I was very much aware of what purpose and assignment, and of course it had to unfold and evolve in different ways. But I sit here in this now moment just in deep gratitude and respect for what my life has been thus far, as well as honoring this last little assignment. My Woomtang clan, some of the guides, ancestors that work with me, have made sure that this last assignment and travel in this way is super sweet, is really, really, really sweet. And yeah, I'm grateful. And here's to a SoulJourner's truth. She wasn't sure how long it would take, and she didn't know just where she was going, but she felt she was on the path. Sometimes she would ask for direction. Women would come and dance with her. They sang their troubles to the moon. She loved to be with her sisters. Relationships made her feel connected. She was content, which is a lot. Sometimes she was confused, tired, lonely, and scared. She was also curious, joyful, strong, happy, and free. Most of all, she experienced daily miracles and walked with faith. Sometimes she would arrive at a community, sharing, building, serving, teaching, learning, and praying with others. She always knew when it was time to move on. When she left, she always felt overwhelming love. One day, a storm gathered in the sky. She sought shelter beneath a giant tree. She called the tree Mama. She felt safe and protected. She delighted to know comfort. When the rain stopped, she kept moving, arriving at destinations only to find new ones. She began to realize what this was all about. She laughed out loud when she witnessed her vision. Her journey of freedom, movement, seeking, finding, being, loving was her path. She felt more herself than ever before. Her creative power and spirit soared with renewed passion. Thank you for listening to a SoulJourner's Truth podcast. It's my purest pleasure to share my SoulJourn with you. To learn more about the services and the offerings I share with our global community, please visit SoulJournersTruth.me.